Hi guys, Nia here with a quick review of Star Wars The Force Awakens, which I saw last week, but I decided to wait until this week to do a review, just because that way if I do any spoilers, then you are forewarned, there might be spoilers in this. I'm going to move to this side, I'm not sure. So first off, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas or a Happy Belated Hanukkah or Merry Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. I happen to celebrate Christmas, so I'm going to tell you guys Happy Christmas, and I hope you guys have a great holiday season and a Happy New Year. Now, on to the movie. So Star Wars The Force Awakens was actually really good. I had hope for it. The original trilogy was amazing, and then the prequel trilogy was kind of ho-hum. It could have been better, could have been much worse. And then Disney acquired the rights to Star Wars, and they retconned everything and made only the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy valid in the history of Star Wars. And I was a huge Star Wars fan of the comic books, the extended universe, the books. Really sad that Death Troopers is no longer considered Star Wars canon. Anyway, so they started it out, and I went in with an open mind, hoping for it to be a very positive experience, and I really felt that it was. Quick synopsis is basically Star Wars The Force Awakens takes place 20 years after the events of Return of the Jedi. I always want to call it Revenge of the Jedi, which was the original name. Anyway, and in it we have discovered that Luke is nowhere to be found. He has gone off to far reaches of the galaxy, and now his twin sister, Leia Organa, has been searching for him due to the rise of the First Order, which seems to be kind of a fascist regime, and seems to be a hark back to the Empire and to the dark side. And they are run by a gentleman, Snoke. And Snoke has a underling named Kylo Ren, and basically they are looking to grow in power. And the story follows the events of a gentleman named Finn, Leia Organa, Han Solo, Chewbacca, and Rey, and a new droid, BB-8, and C-3PO, and R2-D2 towards a certain extent, and a fighter pilot named Poe, who are searching and questing, each for different reasons, who all come together to rise up against the First Order. And basically certain events occur where we learn that things aren't all that they seem to be. What I really liked about the movie, so there were some things I really liked about the movie. I did feel that certain shots and certain scenes were put in for nostalgia reasons. So if you've never seen a Star Wars film before, then you do not feel that sense of nostalgia as much. However, there were definitely some scenes on the planet of Jakku, when R2-D2 showed up for the first time, the fish guy. There were a lot of mirrored elements throughout. We have an orphan child who's been hidden away on this desert planet who is going to rise to power in the Force, and is going up against a utilitarian regime that wants to basically be this very specific my grandma says. And so basically they have a specific extremism view, and they feel that their view is correct. Now, I personally enjoyed the nostalgia. I did go and see the movie with my boyfriend, and he felt that it was too similar to the original trilogy, that they just took everything that made the original trilogy great, and then they just repeated it. I felt that maybe that they were doing that to set up, and then in the second movie they're going to be like, and everything changes. Just to show that certain events in the Force do continue onwards. There is some duality in the Force, as one part of the Force always rises another Force. Like, if one part of the Force grows too strong, the other part of the dark side and the light side are always going to be balancing each other out, which is why we have the dark side rising to power in the last 20 years, because, they were wiped out because of the fall of the Empire and the fall of the Sith. I thought what was really interesting about the movie was the fact that while we did have an agent of the dark side, he was not specifically referenced as a Sith Lord. So I thought that was particularly interesting because we do know that there is always supposed to be Siths in sets of 2, and there was no Darth in sight. So like originally we had Darth Maul, we had Darth Vader, and none of that was near to be seen. We do have Kylo Ren, who is looking to continue the work of Darth Vader. However, he does not personally have the Darth moniker, and he is not considered a Sith. Or if he is considered a Sith, nobody declares him to be a Sith. What I also thought was interesting was that they did not necessarily change any of the characters' flaws. So we did have Han Solo, who was still a smuggler and still was kind of crass and still was out patrolling the galaxy and basically getting into a lot of trouble, even though he had Leia Organa, who happened to be his wife. Luke Skywalker, we don't really know much about his character as he doesn't appear until the very end, which I actually thought was very good. I do think it would have been slightly better and I felt the ending was really good. I really, really wish in the end if we had been left with this, like, oh, he's there and he's a hooded figure and she's on the island that she's dreamt about, and he goes to turn around, like she asks him if he's Luke or something, and he goes to turn around and we don't see his face, and then it like cuts out to The Force Awakens in yellow and it's like like that would have been really cool in my mind. We did have their version of the Death Star, which was like the Star Destroyer that drew up the power of the sun. I'm sorry if that's not the right name. I cannot remember the name of it right now to save my life. I did think that was, I don't know. I would feel like this First Order, like, have they been living in a bubble where they didn't know that they needed to like protect their weapon of mass destruction better? It just seemed like that the fault of the movie. I did not agree with my boyfriend at first when he said this, and the more I think about it, the more I do agree. I do feel that the way they destroyed that weapon was way too easy and way like just there was no drama. There was no peril in terms of destroying that weapon. I actually kind of think it would have been really, really awesome if they would not have destroyed the weapon. The weapon would have totally wiped out the Resistance, and then you would have had this huge power struggle now between the members of the Resistance who are left. They have no Republic left to help them because the Republic has fallen again, and that now you only have this small band of Resistance fighters. I feel it would have made the second movie much more like believable and much more that, oh, the good does have to continuously fight for balance in the Force. And it also kind of makes the second movie very, very like, okay, so where's the peril? Where's the drama? For all you know, for all Rey knows and all the Resistance knows is that, you know, the First Order has again been like destroyed for the most part. They no longer have this weapon. They no longer have the capabilities of destroying galaxies and star systems. So where is your motivation for the second movie besides Rey needing to be trained now by Luke Skywalker, who they have discovered where he's at the end of the first movie, and now she's going to go and she's going to train with him. So I do feel like besides the Rey character and her personal motivations, I don't feel that the light side of the Force now has any crazy motivations to go forward. So I think that's going to be really interesting. I mean, we as an audience knows that the First Order has survived, that Kylo Ren has survived, and that there is General Snoke. And I know that the Resistance knows about General Snoke, because obviously he is the one who brought Kylo Ren into the dark side. And there are unanswered questions about General Snoke. So he's obviously the head of this super regime that needs to be destroyed, so that way, you know, the First Order no longer can function effectively. But I would like there to be more motivation than just one general, because it does feel that the light side has prevailed already. And now at this moment, they just need to go and kill off the trailing parts of the faction of the First Order. And that's it. I love the movie, don't get me wrong. It brought up a lot of feelings of nostalgia to when I was a child and my father introduced me to the movies. But it just was kind of a little... I feel like that could have been it. Like, that could have been the movie, and that could be the trilogy right there, and we have a movie, we have a cut, we have an end. I really liked it, but now that I'm talking about it, I'm like, okay, so in the second movie, she's going to figure out who her dad is, but I don't understand the overall arch now of this universe that they're creating for us. It doesn't feel like there's a drive, like a need, a perilous action anymore. Unless they bring back another Star Destroyer, like a Star System Destroyer, and then it just really, really feels like they're retconning the entire first, like they're just, here is our remake of the original trilogy, but we're not calling it a remake of the original trilogy. So I think it should be interesting to see what Disney is going to do with the series to continue in the future. I really, really want to see the dark side prevail, just a teensy bit. There was some of it in there. I mean, I was like bawling with Han Solo, And there was that moment where Chewie took the detonator, and I was like, Chewie's gonna die! But, I mean, it did show that they were not messing around with the character that they killed off, which I thought was very, very cool. It was basically like, hey, we're here, we're not playing around, no one's safe. But it should be interesting to see what they do in the future. I guess I would say I would definitely recommend it. I would give it an 8 out of 10. I would give it a solid B. If we're talking just visuals, I would give it an A. Like, the worlds, the creatures, even the characterization. I feel like the characters were very, very solid characters. I just think in terms of overall storyline, it feels kind of self-contained, which each movie was self-contained, but I just don't see where they can go now. So if any of you have ideas where they can go besides just Rey is what I'm talking about, and just Kylo Ren, like Finn, it left a lot of unanswered questions. Who was the awakening? Was the awakening of a Jedi? I took it to be the awakening of a Jedi. But also, why was Finn able to fight the First Order's coercion techniques, brainwashing techniques after so many years? Like, why was he able to do that? Also, Rey's past. Why was she left on the planet of Jakku? What happened that Kylo Ren fell? Maybe that was answered in one of the pre-release books that they released. Who is General Snoke? So there are questions that are unanswered. I just feel like there's really no drive for the main guys besides fighting off the First Order. I would like the First Order to be more treacherous, and I would like us to feel like they absolutely are fighting for their lives, and the First Order are really, really big bad guys instead of like this new Empire wannabes who were taken out very easily. And I would prefer to see that happen in the second movie. I would have preferred to see it kind of in the first movie, but if everything can just like go to heck and just be, that would be really cool, and that would make the last part, the end part, the finale, just, I think, top notch in my mind. I have some theories about who Rey is. I can discuss that in a different video. I'm going to try to keep this under 15 minutes. But I would say overall, Star Wars The Force Awakens was really nice. Hark back to the past while bringing in some really cool characters for the future. I think it should be really interesting to see where Disney takes it in terms of they're planning on releasing a movie every year, it seems like. Releasing 6 movies in the next couple years, so that's going to be really interesting how they grow and expand the Star Wars universe in comparison to how it used to be in the comic book series and in the books. So let me know what you thought in the comments below. Like if you like this video. I have to check the oven in terms of pies now, which is not ready yet, but I'm going to make some apple pies and some pumpkin pies. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry about that. This is Nia, and I'm out.